Host Becca Salamone.
Hey everybody, I'm Becca Salamone, and you're watching Wildflower Western Lifestyle Live. And we just share the heart and soul of the American West here, talking to all different sorts of people about their Western lifestyle. So welcome to the live viewers and the replay viewers. Really appreciate y'all taking your time to show up and spend some time with us here. Today, I've got a special guest on with me. She is a fellow line dance entrepreneur. She's got a line dance business in Georgia, in the north of Atlanta, in Georgia, and she has become really successful lately. And so I wanted to get her on here and ask her about how all that works. Her business is called Red Boots on the Dance Floor, as you can see right there, and her name is Celina Meador. Welcome to the show, Celina. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Wonderful. So, yeah, just start out and tell us why red boots.
So, the Red Boots story starts when I was 6 years old. I got a pair of red boots and I saw the movie Footloose, and I was like, I love these red boots. And so I had them since I was six. And then when I was 15, one of my aunts came up to me and she's like, hey, we were cleaning out a house of a deceased family member, and she's got these red boots that I think are your size. Would you like them? And so I tried them on. They were in almost mint condition. I put them on and they fit like a glove. I'm like, these are mine.
The
So
ones.
I put them on and I wore them everywhere. Would dance in them. I started country dancing when I was 18, when I got out of high school. And ever since then, I've always been in red boots. I've got other colors, pairs of boots as well, but I don't feel like I'm me without them.
Yeah. Well, your skin tone and your hair and everything, red is just the perfect color for you.
It's a good color.
Well, I guess the next thing I want to do is just talk about your dance background. You mentioned how long you've been doing things, but just go more into that and how you started and what you studied and things like that.
So when right about the time that I got my first pair of red boots, my mom realized that I need to put Celina in dance because she's always performing in the living room. She's dressing up in princess dresses and putting on a show. I need to put her in dance. So when I was seven in second grade, she put me in dance classes. And 7 years later, was teaching at my dance studio, doing ballet, tap, jazz, lyrical. Tried hip hop, but I'm very Celina ballerina, so it didn't quite work for me. I could do the movements, I don't have the style. And then, so I started teaching, and then when I was 18, I discovered two step. I'm from South Texas, and
Yeah.
two step is a part of my DNA. And funny story is that in Texas, when you mention line dancing and they turn up their nose and they're like, oh, we don't line dance in Texas. We don't line dance in Texas. Hold on to that little nugget for the next
Okay.
part. So then when I was 19, I got an interview with Disney, made the audition, and moved to Orlando the next summer
Wow.
for Disney seasonally for 5 years, doing character entertainment.
That's cool. Who are you? Which character?
I So nobody's ever guessed it on the first try. Most people think, "Oh, you must have been friends with Pocahontas. You must have been friends with Jasmine." And I was like, "No, didn't quite meet the criteria." And so I was great friends with Chip and Dale. They are a blast. They are so much fun. And so I did that in character entertainment for a little while, and then ended up moving to California, and so San Diego area. Moved out there and worked at one of the biggest dance studios I had ever been in,
Wow.
um, and taught there for a good handful of years. And then uh, when so I had my son in 2014, and quit teaching dance for a little while because I wanted to spend time with him and
Your
raise.
family.
Yep. So his name is Waylon, going back to my Texas
Yeah.
roots.
There you go.
Waylon, and he's got big brown eyes and light brown hair and manners, and it's crazy seeing a boy version. He looks almost exactly like me. So, but
Really?
he's got much lighter hair. And then,
Actually, I think I saw him on a video. Y'all were dancing together.
yep,
So
yep. And he's
cute.
choreographed a couple of line dances, and he's super cute.
Is he a good dancer?
He is a good dancer. He is a good
Awesome.
dancer. He picks up
So
on
is
it
his
pretty
mama.
quickly. Yep. So then it was crazy out in California, probably about 2011 or so. I walked into the Temecula Stampede, which is a massive dance hall in the Southern California area. And all they were doing were line dances. And me being from Texas, I was like, I don't line dance. I'm from Texas. And I left. Then 14 years later, I walked into the Temecula Stampede as a full time line dance instructor.
Oh wow.
So, but I moved to Georgia in
Circle.
2017. And so I moved to California in 2009 and then moved to Georgia in 2017. And I was like, there's got to be a dance hall around here somewhere. Looked it up. There was Cowboys or Electric Cowboy 10 minutes from my house. I was like, okay, maybe I can go there and find somebody to two step with. So get there and it's all line dancing. I'm like, here we go again. And gentleman walked up to me and said, "Hey, you're new. Would you like to line dance?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm here. I'm just here to two step." "Well, let me just show you one dance." I was like, "Okay." So I learned American Kids, and I was like, "Okay, this is actually kind of fun."
Yeah, of course.
So that's when I started learning line dances, and then Cowboys closed, or Electric Cowboy closed in 2019,
Oh,
and the relationship that I was in at that point, we would travel around the southeast to the different dance halls just get our dance fix for a minute,
I know
and
all about that. Driving all around to find a place to dance.
I went all around trying to find a place. And so um, then 3 years ago, there was some pretty tragic things that happened. Just to get it all out, I had a fiance that lost his battle to mental health, and so to keep my own mental health in check, I knew I had to keep dancing. So there wasn't any dancing around here, and so I got my NTA accreditation and started teaching. And that's 3 years ago this month that I became a line dance instructor.
Oh, it was good timing to interview you then.
Yep, yep. Almost happy birthday to
That's
being a
right.
line dance instructor.
Yeah, so when you did the NDA, which I have mine as well,
Mhm.
did you go with Deborah there in Georgia?
And Julie. Yeah,
Okay, and Ruby too, yeah. Yeah, y'all do that. If you wanna be a teacher, go get your accreditation.
having my NTA accreditation, like, I love the technique side of it. They teach you like the different parts of the feet, and where your foot should be hitting the floor, and what the positions are, second position, first position, which all of that made sense with my ballet background.
Right.
And so I love having it. I love the details and the technique of it.
Yes, definitely. So that's kind of where you are now, and so then you learned you're teaching, but how did you form Red Boots on the Floor? Was that all during that time?
That was during that grieving period
Okay.
where I sat down with my friend Hillary, and so she does the marketing for bands, for local bands in this area. And so she was like, "Celina, I feel like for you, like, yes, you could be dancing with Celina. Yes, you could be line dance Celina, whatever." She's like, "But you're more of a personality than that. So let's come up with essentially a band name." So you know, she helps with her husband's band, which is Radio 80s, which is here in this area. And she was like, "We need to figure out essentially a band name for you, which is going to be your dance brand." And so we hummed and hawed, and I was like, "Well, I love my red boots. I love my red boots." And we're like, going back and forth on what to call it. And one of my favorite songs is called Boots on a Dance Floor by, oh gosh, I'm going to mess it up. Aaron Watson? Aaron Watson, I believe. I'd have to look it up and make sure. I think it's Aaron Watson. So um, we just kind of put the two together, and that to Boots on a Dance Floor, that was the first line dance I ever choreographed, and I put red in parentheses at the beginning of it, so it
I
says
saw that. Yeah,
red boots on a dance floor. Even though I'm red boots on the dance floor, it worked.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so
Yeah,
we
so
started one day and created the logo, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm going with now.
in some of your posts I've seen, you shared early on that people, were trying to encourage you to start. Sorry, discourage you to start, and didn't say that you were good enough or pretty enough or smart enough to do all that you're doing as an entrepreneur. So, can you kind of like tell me what was the point where you said, "I've got this," and you went forward with Red Boots on the Dance Floor?
Um, so that was a part of um, the grieving process of losing somebody who I don't ever speak ill of anybody, but I was held under somebody's thumb for a very long time and was told some not nice things, and to the point where I believed it.
Hmm.
And going through the process of, funerals and laying that person to rest, um, it it kind of became just a part of the process.
Yeah.
Um, so letting go of those emotions, letting go of the things that were said to me, it then became fuel to, I guess, in a way, prove those words wrong.
Yeah. I got you.
Mhm.
I've heard some words like that too.
Mhm.
But one thing that I've always found, because we talked about before the show started, that I started with Alabama Horse Talk Radio
Mhm.
back in 2012. Did that for 5 years. Did Southern Horse Talk TV, where it was video interviews, and then I did American Horse Talk Live when live streaming came along, and now I'm doing other live stream shows as well. The whole thing about all that is consistency, and you can build a brand just by being out there. Just put yourself out there. Just put yourself out there. So. I see you're out there consistently doing a lot of that with your marketing and things like that. We'll probably come back and talk a little bit about that later. But that whole thing has to be just put yourself out there
Mhm.
and see if it resonates with someone.
Yep. Yep. It's definitely because of the consistency. You mentioned consistency. Because I've got my dance nights almost every single week. People know what to expect. They know the dances because they've come to the classes or they come to my dance nights, and they know that I play a lot of high energy songs. I hardly ever play any slow songs. I hardly ever play sad songs because that's not what my dance nights are. People don't expect to hear a slow sad song at my dance nights.
Right.
So that I know of, four souls are still on this earth because of the consistency of my dance nights, which is
Wow.
pretty
Great.
powerful stuff.
Yeah, that really is. Yeah, congratulations on that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, talk a little bit about like the fact that as you're building this thing, you've said before that some of the floors were empty from time to time. You've made mistakes. How did you turn that around, and what kind of tactical shift did you make to have these packed dance floors now that you have?
So yeah, there were times that I had one person on the dance floor and it was me. And I thought that I had done all of the marketing right. I thought that I had reached the right people. And really what those were put in my path for was to learn, Celina, you need to shift, you need to alter some things. So I went back into my marketing brain. So before I got into line dance, I was a social media manager and marketing manager for a real estate company out here, Century 21. And so I just dug into the things that I was teaching real estate agents how to do in their own businesses. And I was like, I've got to do it for myself. because if I'm teaching people how to do these things, I should probably be doing those things for myself. So something doesn't work. I had open houses where I had no people show up. And I'm like, how am I going to sell this house if I don't have anybody showing up? So I just dug into being able to connect with people and being able to network like crazy. And uh, I learned that, hey, you know what? We've got several other line dance instructors here in this area. I'm going to put together a master list of all of the places that you can dance. So, me growing up in ballet studios, you learn from multiple different instructors. I should never be anybody's only line dance instructor, ever. I
Yeah.
send people all the time to other instructors. I don't know if anybody sends anybody to me, but I send people to other instructors. I'm like, hey, you know what? Julie Griggs, who's one of the NTA instructors and testers, she is great with beginners. If you don't know the difference between your left foot and right foot and you need things at a slower pace, she's going to break things down so easily. Like, yes, absolutely. Go talk to Julie. She might be the right instructor for you. Whenever you're ready, you're always welcome back, but go test out these other instructors. Oh gosh, like Celina, you're all the way over here. I live on this side of town. Who, well, like, how can I get to your classes? How can I learn from you? Tell you what, so and so is in this town, which is not too far from you. Go check out this class and see if it's a good fit for you. So I put together this master list called Where to Dance This Week. And when I started it 2.5 years ago, there were 6 places to dance in all of Atlanta for the entire week. Whereas when I started teaching line dance, in the summer 3 years ago, there were 2 places that you can line dance that I knew of, and then I added the third place that you can line dance. Then I started finding out about all of these other places, and I put together a master list, and there were 6 places to dance that week. Here we are, 2.5 years later. There's over 50 line dance classes
Wow.
every single week in Atlanta. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's really growing exponentially.
There's over 2 dozen instructors, and it's amazing to watch that.
It really is. Being in Alabama, Birmingham in particular, it's like this for the line dance community, up and down, depending on the venues. Just depending on the interest. And, outside in the country, it's been hugely, in the world, it's been hugely popular. And right now, it's starting to pick up more here, like it was years ago. And
Mhm.
I'm thrilled about it. And I see new instructors popping up all over the place. And so, I try to go to their classes myself and learn some things that maybe I don't know.
Mhm.
So definitely that's the thing to do. And then I have people come on here and tell their story, because I think that's really important for all of us to share and learn from that.
Right.
Yeah. So I appreciate that you do that. Do you still put out that list?
So right now the list is on hold because actually another instructor has kind of taken on that project and is like, hey,
Okay.
listen, I want to have a website. I want to have a Facebook group where it's all of us instructors posting our classes. So she's kind of taken that for now. She's got a Google sheet. She's got like a whole spreadsheet on everything. And so she's been building that. And then once she gets that established, then I'll probably be pulling from that list there and putting together a master list as well. Just more marketing. That's what it
Okay.
is. It's just
Yeah.
market, market, market like crazy.
Yeah. So someone here had started a line dance calendar or dance calendar, I guess, for this area. And I guess they found my stuff online. I'm on the calendar. I didn't put myself on there. I just got on there, but I send updates because that's really important to keep that information out there so people know where to go, right?
Mhm.
Because you can post as much as you can, but the algorithms don't always reach everybody. So I hear people say all the time, "Oh, I didn't know you taught line dance." I'm like, "How can you not know?" But it happens. You
Yeah.
just have to keep putting it out there. Now, talk a little bit about your choreography and the fact that your dance community kind of encouraged you to do that. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. So Tanya Curry, she's the one of the co-directors of World Dance Showdown, which is happening in a couple of months again. So it'll be the
I
same.
interviewed her too.
Yeah. Yep. I love her 2 pieces.
Me
So
too.
she used to own what is now called Fort Wayne Dance for All. So
Right.
a handful of years ago, she handed it over to Jamie Marshall, and Jamie has taken it off, and is just like it's become this whole huge thing. So when she found me on Facebook and was like, "I've got to have you as an instructor for World Dance Showdown." I'm like, okay, what's that? What am I doing? How do I do this? And so I had been to other dance conventions. I had been to Peach State. I had been to Nashville Dance Fest. I had been to Shoreline. I had been to Forever Country. And she's like, I've got to have you as an instructor at World Dance Showdown. I was like, okay. And then she saw, I did. So it snowed here in Atlanta 2 winters ago. And I did a really silly red boots snow report video where I'm kind of being satirical. I was like, we have a great 3 inches of snow on the ground. You've got to get the bread and milk right now. So I'm being so satirical
So
and I'm
true.
being silly. And she's like, Celina, okay, now because I've seen you do that, I have to have you as an MC at World Night Showdown. I'm like, oh gosh, no pressure. So then
Be
she's
your authentic self, and it will come to you.
she was like, "You were being so silly, and it was so much fun, and I've got to have you as an MC." And I'm like, "How do I MC?" She's like, "We'll give you everything that you need." I'm like, "Okay."
That's so neat. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
So,
no, I was just going to say real quick. I'm getting into emceeing myself
yeah,
because I'm just a kind of a, you'll see, a goofy person, and like people to have a good time, right? So that's needed at these events, and you kind of carry the momentum and the energy along. So yeah, I get that. Go ahead.
yep,
Sorry.
yep. And I'm totally blanking on the question that you asked me because I was telling the World Dance Showdown story to answer
Choreography.
the
Yeah,
question.
choreography.
Choreography,
Yeah.
yes. So, I had choreographed a couple of different dances, and I was starting to have fun with it. Choreography is not new to me because I was a dance teacher for so long. I was running dance studios. I had to come up with all the choreography on my own and put together the show. I had to put together the recitals. So choreography wasn't new. Doing line dance choreography is new to me. So I started just hearing a song and I was like, okay, this is what I hear in the song for, you know, to put together my own line dances. And my dancers started falling in love with it. I was like, okay, there's a choreography competition coming up at the World Dance Showdown. Like, what should I do? Like, I don't know. What dances do y'all think that I should enter? And they're like, you have to do Aussie Zom. And I'm like, but nobody knows my dance. Like, y'all know my dance, but when I did Aussie Zom, it was around the same time that everybody else did a dance to Aussie Zom. I was
Right.
like, nobody's okay, fine, I'll do Aussie Zom. They're like, and you have to do radio sounds, which is done to a Zach Top song called Sounds Like the Radio. And how I came up with that name was I didn't want to write sounds like the radio. And
Right.
so me being either efficient or lazy, I don't know, I just called it radio sounds. And so they're like, you have to do radio sounds. So I was like, okay. And they're like, and you have to do Wild Hearts. So Wild Hearts, where that one comes from, is whenever my fiance passed away, that was a song that we used at his funeral. And I wanted to choreograph to it, but I could not listen to that song. I could not do it. And so 2 years after he passed away is when I choreographed it. And I just wanted to teach it the one time, that one night, as a piece of letting go. And that was it. It was about letting go. Well, my dancers kept requesting it. Can you teach it again? Can you teach it again? I'm like, I guess
Not
I will.
sure.
And yeah. And so it's become a favorite here. And then like you have to do Wild Hearts. I'm like, okay. So I took Azizam, Radio Sounds, and Wild Hearts with me to the World Dance Showdown, and Azizam took first, Wild Hearts took third, and Radio Sounds took ninth. That's the largest choreography competition in the United States, and
Wow.
it all three of them placed in the top 10. I was like, what is happening?
You are a choreographer after all.
And so now Wild Hearts it's been a competition dance. So has Radio Sounds. And then Aussie Zom is going to be a competition dance in the fall at Movement in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm like, all right, that's 3 for 3. What's next?
That's amazing. That's great. Well, congratulations on that. I've actually choreographed dances for years, but normally I just teach them to the people that I know or my classes now. And I
Mhm.
don't put much up on Copper Knob or wherever. But maybe I should do that. See what happens. You never know.
Take a chance, throw it in choreography
Yeah.
competitions, see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I entered it to get feedback from the judges. I wanted to know what I could alter, what they saw in the dance that I could use to choreograph future dances. That's what I went to World Dance Showdown for, was to get the feedback. I had no idea that the feedback was going to be first, third, and ninth. And so that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then at We Line Dance last month, uh, that was in Indianapolis. I submitted 2 dances into the incognito choreography competition, which that's a really cool one
Oh, wow.
because the judges have no idea whose dance it is. They have one dancer learn all of the dances, and that's the video that the judges see. And so the judges get the step sheet, which is scrubbed clean of any identifying factors. They get the step sheet and they get the video of the one dancer doing every single dance. And my dance, called Bad at Lying, which is done to Bad Liar by Selena Gomez, uh, was a finalist.
Wow.
So the incognito choreography competition, there's a lot of big words there, um, is you're looking at the choreography itself. So you had amateurs, you had professionals, you had those that have line dances that are done all over the country, and it's all incognito. So it's looking at the choreography itself, because that's where, when I was talking to Heather, that's where a lot of hidden gems are at.
Right.
So, and then my other dance done to Bonkers, which I called I'm a Donut because it has it in the lyrics, I'm a donut. That was a semifinalist in for Improver. So
That's great. So you're just moving and shaking. That's awesome.
it keeps going. Oh, and there's another one right here in the white envelope. That was for the Edge choreography out in California. And that one was done to one specific artist who was chosen to her song is the one dance that everybody choreographs to. And then the finalists get out there and compete next to each other. That was a lot of fun because we're all doing our individual dances all at the same time.
Wow. That's kind of
So
different.
it was different. And it was kind of cool because it shows, hey, how well do you know your own dance? And how does your dance stand out amongst all of the other finalists? And that one placed third.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Yeah,
It was just
I have been known to choreograph dances, and then months later, I'm like, "How does that start?" You know? It happens. Okay.
go to Copper Knob to figure out how our own dances
Yeah.
start.
Let's see. I'm gonna pause. Let's see. Somebody here is saying Linda Messing. Shout out to Line Dance with Mimi, North Georgia. Do you know Linda?
Yes! That's who, so Mimi is putting together the list of all of the instructors' classes. So that's who I was talking about earlier.
Okay. Got to hop
Mhm.
off and on to a meeting. Great job, Celina.
Yes, I love Linda. So she's another one of the instructors that's here in the area. I think she's got a Saturday morning class at KSU with the retirees and the seniors, and then she's got another couple of classes as well that she's gotten up and started.
Okay, perfect. I'm
Yeah.
glad you can.
Mhm.
Enjoy your meeting, Linda. All right, so kind of like talking about community, your dance philosophy and stuff like that. As a dance instructor, I see how the line dancing ties the community together,
Mhm.
and also as a Western lifestyle travel advisor, I've got to find those communities to send people to. Right.
Right.
So, how do you see, how important line dance is for community in our line dance world? Just how important is that community aspect?
Here, in Atlanta, and I'm sure that it's the same everywhere else. That line dance it's a floor filler when it comes to the venue's perspective, the ones that hire us to bring a line dance night to be essentially be the entertainer that night. It's a floor filler. They see a lot of people on the dance floor, and so from the venue's perspective, they're like, yes, there's a lot of people in my business right now that are spending money on food, drinks, if they've got merchandise, whatever there, they're seeing a lot of people in their doors. Uh, for the dancers, it's a chance to, yes, learn some things, and maybe pick up on some technique things that you have never learned before. For some people, it's just a chance to get out and do something different. So, at bars and restaurants all over the country, we've got trivia night, we've got karaoke night, we've got bands playing, we've got a DJ, we've got um, bunch of different activities that people are using to bring customers in the door. And with us being line dance instructors and hosts and MCs and DJs, uh, we get to be a part of that as well. So we get to be a part of not only the venues and the businesses bringing in dollar signs, which is important to them, but also from the line dancer perspective, it's hey, it's a night out to do something different. It's social, it's active, it gets your brain thinking a little bit, and just being around a lot of the same faces, but also there's new faces every single week. So it's just spreading love and spreading the enjoyment of being a part of something bigger than you ever could have imagined. So
Yeah.
there are so many people. Like I was just talking to my new boyfriend the other day. So how he found line dance was I had answered a question on one of the community Facebook pages here, and he was like, "What? There's no line dancing here. Like Cowboys clothes. Like there's no line dancing around here." And he clicked on my post and saw that I had an event coming up not too far from where he lived. He's like, "Okay, there are six little old ladies that are going to her dance night, and I'm gonna go there, and it's gonna be." So he's a professional dancer and actor. So
Okay.
he's you have seen him. I will say you have
Oh,
seen
really?
on a lot of things.
Okay. I'm gonna look now.
You've seen him on a lot of things. He's probably going to be watching this video and be like, Celina, we talked about this. He's very humble. So he was like, okay,
He's
no
in
matter
it.
what I am, I'm going to go there and dance. It's going to be me and six little old ladies at a line dance class. And he walks in and there's lights and music and there's like 70 people in this room. And he's like, what
What's
did
going on?
on a Tuesday night?
That's
So kind of hung
fantastic.
back in the background. I was like, okay, checking things out. And then I remember he got out and he learned to dance. And the way that he moved, I was like, mm-mm, you're a dancer. What's the deal? And this was over 2 years ago. And he was like, oh, just here. I was like, mm-mm, no, you've got a dance background. What's the deal? And he was like, I don't know, I'm just here hanging out. I'm like, okay, we'll talk later. And so then he ended up being one of my absolute best friends. And then I learned all of this stuff about him. And it's just funny to see like where, going from, oh, it's just a silly little line dance class to now it's a full on lifestyle.
Yeah, it really is. Line dance life. For sure. Now, we kind of touched on some points there that I want to bring out more. Um, so there's kind of been like an evolution of the popularity. We talked about that a little bit. Not really sure where that comes from, except maybe Yellowstone kicked it back in. City Slickers helped a long time ago. Now Yellowstone, Marshalls, Landman, all that stuff. It's all Western driven, right? Um, but also just the style of dancing itself. So there's lots of different styles anyway that people may not know. So you've got your traditional, maybe it's the little old lady dancing, and men.
Mhm.
It's not just for ladies.
Right.
You've got the more modern style, you've got soul, you've got the hip hop, you've got all sorts of stuff that can be line dancing. So, talk a little bit about that and what you're seeing with the evolution of all that.
So I thought line dance was just done to country music. And then I started learning, like, oh, there's other stuff too. What is this about? And um, probably really only the past year or so is when I discovered, oh gosh, there is soul line dance. Soul and trail ride kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You've got hip hop line dance. Uh, you've got contemporary line dance. And I'm like going into my ballet, tap, and jazz world. I'm like, oh my gosh, could there? Yes, there's a jazz style line dance. There's a
Yeah.
waltz style line dance. There's like more ballet style that I can get in and like really use my ballet technique on that. And then, um, you know, there's so many different genres of line dance, just like there is in dance, just like there is like for almost everything.
And
So
music is tied
uh,
to music as well.
yeah. So you've
Yeah.
got, hey, somebody can say, hey, I'm a painter. Okay, well, what kind of painter? Oh, I work with watercolor. Oh, I work with oil. Oh, I work with, there's so many different.
Pencil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so much out there, and I, as a teacher, try to incorporate a little bit of all of that because I love it all.
Why do you teach?
You kind of have to read your room, your class to see if is that successful or not, and then you decide if you keep doing that. But how do you decide, and what kind of styles are you teaching?
I mostly teach, uh, it's probably about a 60-40 mixture. So about 60% of what I teach is country or country fusion is what I like to call. Like we've got there's a line dance called Little Bit by Kelly Cavallero that is got Georgia Florida line and Nelly. So I call
Yeah.
those like fusion dances where it's the crossover between country and non-country. So it's about a 60% country and country fusion, and the other is a mixture like uh, Electro Horse's dances.
Uh-huh.
He's more on trail ride and soul. I'll teach. I try to teach hip hop. I can, like I said earlier, I can do the movements. I don't have the style. So some of my dancers have the style. I'm like, you do it. We've got Latin style line dances. So it's probably about a 60-40 mixture. And what I do is I either go to conventions or I see something on like line dancers on Facebook, the Facebook group. They're like, hey, there's this line dance to Oh the Larceny. And I'm like, oh, that looks like a fun dance. And then ended up meeting the choreographer at one of the dance conventions. I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool to see a name to a face.
Yeah,
So I'll
definitely.
do conventions and I'll find dances. I'll scroll online dancers on Facebook. I will hear a song on the radio. And I'm like, oh, I really like the song. I wonder if there's a dance to that. Look something up on Copper Knob, scroll through the different ones and see which dance I like the best. And then I teach it. And if it sticks, if it's requested again the next week, then cool. It can just keep going. So I probably say a good it's like about 50-50. So I'll teach a dance and it'll stick or it won't.
Yeah.
Kind
So
of depends on what the crowd likes.
that's right. I've got a whole long list of things that I've taught, probably like 450 dances
Mhm.
since
Mhm.
2019 or something. um,
Right.
and adding to it every day. So there's some that I say that are like the successful dances, the ones that we remember and still do, and the ones that just go by
Mhm.
the wayside.
Right.
So yeah, so that's kind of how you do it. If people are asking for it, then you keep it going. Now,
Right.
talk a little bit more about that in terms of how much you're reviewing dances and how much are new each time.
So what I was on a streak where I was teaching a brand new dance every single class, and I was teaching two or three different dances every single night of a variety of levels. And uh, it kind of got to the point where we were forgetting those dances.
Right.
So now, what my pattern is for the week, I'll have, because I have different venues that I teach at, it's not just one venue. So I'll teach a dance on, say, Thursday and then see how it does through the weekend. And then next week, I'll review it in one of my classes. Um, and then go from there, instead of a new dance every single time. Because like, hold on, you taught this dance like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, I don't. I have no idea. I remember
Okay.
it. I remember learning it. I remember teaching it, but I don't know what it is.
Yes. Mhm. I identify with that statement. So,
Yeah.
um, so
And
it's
then I've also been going back to dances that we've kind of not necessarily lost, but we haven't done in a year or two. And I'm like, oh yeah, remember this
yes,
one?
then
And
they're
so
good
what
ones.
I did
Yeah.
last night was I taught a medley dance I had learned a couple of years ago, where it's a mixture of "Don't Want to Go Home," "Dizzy," and "The Outlaw."
Oh,
And
cool.
I taught all 3 of those dances that night. I'm like, "Okay, now this is how you put it together as a medley, and you do 2 of 'Don't Wanna Go Home,' 2 of 'Dizzy,' and 2 of 'The Outlaw.'"
Perfect. Yeah, I do a
So
lot of
they're
that
all dances
with
that we've
my
been doing for years.
I do a lot of that when we have, performances because I have a line dance team, a
Mhm,
performance team, and so I'll take 3 different songs, about a minute of each, and fuse them together. They have to be kinda similar in, beat and all that kinda stuff,
mhm.
style, a message, as well sometimes, but yeah, that's kind of fun to do is to, like, mesh them together and make a performance out of it. I don't normally do that with my classes, but I do that with my team. So that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. Pretty cool that you did in a class too.
Yeah.
Now, so your regular classes, are you teaching 1 to 4 dances, some review, some new, or how many are you teaching in each class that maybe is like an hour?
If I have an hour class, then I'll either teach 2 dances, which would be like a beginner and an improver, or I'll teach 1 intermediate. I can teach an intermediate in about 20 minutes, doesn't mean that it sticks in the dancer's brains.
Right.
So if I just have 1 hour, then that's what I'll do.
Okay. And then, oh, I had another question. Where is it? Oh, um, I just got so many questions. Um, so sorry, I told you I'm goofy.
Oh, I am too. I am too.
So, in terms of beginners,
Mhm.
dealing with beginners that come in, because I teach public lessons, people come in all the time, in and out. You're going to have your diehard core people that follow you that have been with you for years. They're advanced, intermediate to advanced dancers mostly. They're very tolerant of the beginners. They help them, and I shout out to everybody that is like that for my classes because I love you guys. I love you helping people on the side when I can't, talk with everyone when I'm teaching, and I also
Mhm.
appreciate the people that will stand in for me and teach when I cannot be there in class. Angie, Shannon, Mary, you know who you are. I'm sure there's more. Brenda.
People know who you are. You're in every single one of my classes.
Yes. So I'm going to get to my question eventually. All right. So my question is, how do you welcome the beginners in, make them feel welcome, engage them, and make sure that they're coming back for more when you may be in a class where you've started with a beginner and you've gone up to an improver, maybe you're on an intermediate, and by the end of the class they're feeling frustrated. Lately, I've been adding a beginner at the end so they feel good at the end. So how do you do it?
For my beginner dancers, and I always say, hey, except for Monday and Thursday, the first class is always beginner, and then each class gets a little spicier because if I start saying improver, intermediate, they're like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, we start with beginner, and each one just gets a little bit spicier, a little bit more challenging on our feet. Um, I actually say, hey, whose first line dance class is this? Raise your hands way up high. And some people are like, here. And I'm like, this is 100% to single you out. So, like, raise your hands way up high. And people kind of giggle. Some people are still here. And I'm like, hey, if this is your first line dance class, we have all been in your shoes. Today is just the first day that you're doing line dance. Line dance is very foreign to our feet. If your feet are turning into foot spaghetti, that's okay because guess what? Mine do as well. And I teach you these dances. What you see during social dance is going to seem like the dancers know every single dance and they're just out there. How did they learn this all in one night? They didn't. They learned one dance at a time. And that's what you're doing. So if you come in and you learn one dance tonight, next week you learn another. Next week you learn another and another and another. A year from now, you're going to know 50 dances. That's not including the ones that you've learned on the spot. Like
Right.
you can learn flex on the spot. You can learn You can learn kerosene on the spot. You can learn shirts and skirts on the spot. So you'll know about 50 dances. I play about 50 to 60 songs per night. So
That's
get
all.
this, a year from now, you're going to know all of them. How cool is that? So that's how I kind of ease the tension for my new ones. Some people still come up, they're like, I got to have private lessons? No, you don't. No, you don't. I only do private lessons if I've got a group of 10 or more. Um, But for you, it's just one step at a time. If you learn this many steps out of a dance that has this many, I want you to be proud of yourself because I'm proud of you.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good approach. I like that. Might have to steal some of that from you.
Yeah, for somebody else.
Um, so another thing I want to ask you, both of us being NTA accredited instructors,
Mhm.
how do you incorporate some of that more technical jargon and ideas, concepts from that learning into your classes without totally turning people off? Like this is too much education. They just there to have fun. Some people want to know that, some people don't. So how do you kind of incorporate that and balance it in your classes?
I focus on like six, maybe seven steps that I really hyper focus on. I'm like, hey, I want you to know the difference between a weave and a vine. What is the difference between a weave and a vine? And people are like, I don't know. It looks the same. Let's go over the details. I'll go over the difference between a wizard step and a lock step. What are the count differences? And that's only during while I'm teaching a dance. So if you're learning, say, raise like that, it starts off with a wizard step. Hey, this is how you do a wizard step, and this is how it's different from a lock step. So I'll incorporate it in the lesson itself. I don't say, hey, this is the difference between a weave and a vine. This is the difference between a wizard step and a lock step. And the other two that I talk about the differences is between a sailor step and a coaster step.
Yeah.
Sailor step is linear, coaster step is forward and back. And these are the key points that I want to look at. I don't talk about all six of those steps every single lesson. I talk about it as it's happening in the lesson.
Right. Right. I do little asides and I'll just stop and kind of explain.
Little
Um,
footnotes.
yeah. And if you're with me for a while, then you hear kind of some of the same things over and over and over. But the people that are coming in new, they know those things. So they're accommodating of that and appreciate my more advanced answers for that.
Yep.
All right. So I'm looking at some of my questions I have over here. So beyond the physical exercise of it and the massive mental social benefits of it, um, talk about how it's more like therapy for people sometimes when they come to dancing
It
and what the
is.
benefits are really of line dancing.
So, um, for physical therapy, if somebody is back into moving again, say they had surgery and their therapist, their physical therapist is like, you need to find some sort of activity that you can do that is very low impact. It's like, oh, well, what about line dancing? And line dancing in general is a very low impact sport. Now, there are some very high impact line dances, but in general, the movements of line dance are easy on our body. And so, so for physical therapy, it's great if you're getting back into movement or your physical therapist is like, hey, it's time to add something different. Using your muscles in a different way. And then for our social batteries and for our own mental health, it's it's upbeat, it's fun. There's a lot of faces. There are people encouraging you to be there. So it's like whatever is happening outside of my dance floors, you can let that go for however long it is that you're at my dance nights, and just being able to escape from the crazy for just a little bit because that's what I had to do. I had to escape from the crazy and focus for that handful of hours on running my dance nights. And so you can let go of the chaos. Let nothing from the outside world can get you on my dance floors. And so just being able to cut off the outside world for just a few hours, it's a great brain break. And it's social. It's interactive, which is really important, especially coming out of the COVID years where we were, locked down and didn't have a whole lot of social interaction. It's great to be out in the world again and be social.
Yes, I have a funny aside about that. Once we had COVID, and we came back from that, I started putting out a post that had polka dots on the background,
Mhm.
and it said, "Line dance, the original social distancing, because you stand, apart
Mhm.
ish when you're dancing, so you don't run into someone."
Right.
That's just a side note.
Yeah.
Dry sense of humor. But no, no, just kind of building on what you said. Um, you make friendships that are lifelong in line dance and meaningful, true friendships. So, talk a little bit about that and what you've seen in your experience teaching people and how they become those friends.
So the first person that I thought of, she's my best friend, is Barbara. The first I remember her coming out to my line dance nights out in Cumming at the Well, and she was kind of hesitant at first, and now that I know her, I understand why she was hesitant at first. But so she was getting out there, and she was kind of just kind of there as a face, and then she started showing up to every single one of my dance nights, no matter where it was at. She was there, and then she was more of one of the attentive students. So she was there, she was listening, she was absorbing every single word. And I'm like, all right, this one here, this one's different. And um, yeah, so she's now one of my best friends. She made me a blanket from our first year that we had met each other. She made me a blanket with all of these pictures of all of our adventures from our first year of friendship, and uh, she learned very quickly when I go to dance conventions, because she went to Nashville Dance Fest with me the very first time that I ever went, and she was like, okay, Celina gets up early and she goes to class, and she doesn't come back until it's done at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then she's up again and going to class. So it's like, this girl is insane, and it's fine. I am. So, um, but now it's like she's with me, uh, you know,
Well,
all
like in marketing, you said you studied marketing. That's like called an advocate and a promoter, and
uh
that's where you want to get all of your people too, right? Because they're recommending you without you even having to ask. So
right.
you've got one.
So I've got
Yeah.
my one, and now I've probably got, gosh, because I've been doing this for 3 years. So she was really like the first one that was like gung ho, like this is what I'm doing every single week. Um, and then since then, I've now, so in the different pockets of town that I teach in, I've got my core people that I know are going to be there every single week. And now they all know each other, and so they've all formed these groups, these Facebook messenger groups, and they call it like the Red Boots moms, the Red Boots, so they've got all of these like little pockets that I'm not a part of it, but it's like their own little pocket of
Right.
friends that they all met at line dance. And they're always in that chat, like, hey, are we going out to this night? Are we going to this one? Hey, what should we do? It's so and so's birthday. Like, we got to let Celina know so that she can announce it, and et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah.
I've now got probably a good like 20 or so people in each of the pockets of town that are different pockets, that they're my core group anywhere I go.
Yeah, my people are called Becca's Boot Scooters.
Yeah.
My team name. All right, so going kind of like with the country's cool again,
Mhm.
Western lifestyle connection with line dancing. Um, how do you see line dancing as more like a gateway into the true, Western lifestyle and that just that true connection to the Western lifestyle and the culture?
I think it's an intro. If you're, from the city and haven't really been a part of the Western culture. Actually, side note, my original pair of red boots that I got when I was 15, I have been in the cow pastures. I have, I've wrestled with the little baby cows to, get them their notches in their ears, and so all of the scars that I've got on my original pair of red boots are probably from a cow stepping on me.
They were well earned.
Very well earned. So it's it's if you're not a part of the country western lifestyle, it's a great intro into that world coming from the country music side. So you hear a lot of the country music, and a lot of the modern country music is more about kind of the party atmosphere of being in the country. Hey, we're going dancing out in the country. Bring your Levi's. We're going to have a couple of brews out by a bonfire. And so it's an intro into like the party side of the country western lifestyle. But country music comes from, hey, cowboys are out in the pasture with their cows, and they're trying to keep their cows calm so they don't have a stampede, and so they're strumming on their guitar, and it's an intro into that world. Does all of that make sense?
Yes, and it's a little bit one side or the other. Uh, for me, I have to bring this together into my business, Wildflower Western Travel, because I
Mhm.
love line dancing, I love country music, and I love horses, and that's kind of all combined, right? Going out to a
Mhm.
dude ranch, but it's not the loud, boisterous, you know, get crazy with drinks and things like that. It's more like you're saying, the more calm type of line dancing. So it's a little bit of a divergence there, but still,
Mhm.
I love to go up to Nashville as well and enjoy all the different things up there.
Right.
I don't partake in a lot of the things that some people do up there, but I definitely partake in the dancing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all tied together, and I think it is kind of an intro to that. And here comes somebody else. Oh, let me pull this over here.
Oh, Lexi. Hi, Lexi.
Love you, Celina. So that's one of your students, or
Yep, yep. I hadn't, I'm sure she's busy with life. I hadn't seen her in a while, but yeah, yep.
that's awesome. Thanks for joining, Lexi. All right. So what about we mentioned red boots many times. So do you have branded products? Do you have red boots that people can buy or anything like that?
I
T-shirts.
make all of my own merchandise. It's kind of just like a side hobby of mine. So I've got a handful of different shirts and tumblers. I've got notebooks. I've got fans. I've got just like little things like that. So, and I bring it with me, and they can get them at my dance events. So I don't have it on my website or anything, but
Okay,
it's just kind of
that's
a
good to know.
side thing.
Good to know. All right,
Mhm.
so going into more like your offerings that you have, your specific types of classes, and your venues that you teach. Kind of give an overview of that.
So, yes, most of my dance nights are at bars and restaurants. Some of them I bring my own sound equipment. Some of them the sound equipment is there, and I tap into their systems. I teach, I DJ, I MC. I also do all of my own marketing. I do. Uh, I can do corporate events, corporate parties, holiday parties, retirement parties. I've done weddings. I've done birthday parties. I've done all kinds of stuff. Like, we were poolside last year. So one of the families that hired me, their daughter was turning 12, and she wanted to line dance at the pool. I'm like, cool, bikinis and boots. Like, let's go. So that's what we did.
That's cool. Yeah, I just got asked to do a cheerleader party, so I'm excited about that because I already know which dances would be great for that.
Right. Yeah. Play Taylor Swift and they're happy.
So, the different venues. Is Saddle Bar a new venue for you?
Saddle Bar is new. Saddle Bar just opened up earlier this winter. So February, March is whenever it first opened. And it is, I'm there now Tuesday, Wednesday, and most Fridays, some Saturdays, but normally on the weekends, I've got, my dance conventions that I go to. I've got about 15 conventions or so that I'm teaching at this year. Um,
Wow.
and then I've also got my other venues. I've got breweries. I've got event spaces that I work with. I've got, I mean, there's a ton of breweries that are open here. So,
Yeah. So
yeah. So
how are you keeping track of all that so you don't miss an event?
what you don't see is on the other side of this wall, I've got a giant master calendar on a dry erase board that I write down everything. I map out the entire year, but that's on the other side of this wall here.
Good to know. And speaking of that, like what works for you? What's working for you in terms of marketing on social media?
Tapping into what it looks like to be a dancer, to what is the lifestyle of being a dancer, what is the lifestyle of being a dance instructor in the line dance world. That's how I reach out to people. Is for the venue side, of course, they want to see full dance floors, they want to see the lights, the action, the people coming in their doors. To market to the dancers is like, hey, like we've all stood on what we think is two left feet. Every single one of us in this classroom has felt that exact same way. Today is just probably your journey. So, how I use my social media is, hey, this is what it looks like. This is the experience whenever you come to a Red Boots dance night. If it's the experience for you, great. We'll see you next Tuesday. If it's not, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not the right instructor for everybody, just like not every dancer is the right student for me. So, if this is the experience that you want to have, come on out. That's okay. I've got a whole network of instructors that you can go see.
And so you said that you do all your marketing. So you're doing the videoing as well, or do you have some like a camera set up on the side, or does someone help you with that?
A lot of times it's me holding my camera. I've got a
Doing
tripod.
that.
I've got, I edit all of my own videos, and I come up with the captions and I write everything in and make my videos uh, to where the dancer or the venue feels like they're a part of that video.
Mhm.
So and it's very invitational.
And which platform is doing the best for you right now?
Right now, it's Instagram and Facebook. So line dancers as a whole are on Facebook because they tend to be uh, Gen Xers and older. Um, and there are some millennials. So I'm actually on the cusp of between a millennial and Gen Xer. So I call myself a Zennial because I'm right in between. And so there on Facebook, it's my age bracket and up. On Instagram, it's my age bracket and a little bit older, a little bit younger. And then, and those are the people that I reach the most because I'm in those age categories. So I reach the younger ones because I look like some of the younger ones, but I have the dance teaching and the experience of those who are older than me. So I've got a lot of young years in that experience.
Yeah.
World. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've
good.
been a dancer for 31 years and a dance teacher for 26. So I've got the experience of somebody who's older than me, but I still look like the younger ones.
Yeah, got you. And you do look great, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, can I ask you how old you are? Should we talk about that on here?
Sure, I'll be 40 this year.
Okay, you look fabulous,
Thank
fabulous.
you.
Right, that's so funny that you say that because I was dancing the other night and I had a group of 30 and 40-year-olds come,
Mhm,
about ten people. They were brand new.
mhm.
And afterwards, they came up. One girl came up and talked to me, and I was like, "Well, how old are you?" And she's like, "Well, I'm 40 or 41, whatever she said." And I thought she was in her 20s, and she looked great.
My
And then
Nancy.
I said, "Well, how old do you think I am?" And she said, "Oh, about 40, 41." I'm like, "Well, thank you. I'm not. I just had my still sexy at 60 party this year."
Hooray! Happy birthday.
Thank you. But yeah, I always tell people just keep dancing because it makes you look young.
Mhm. Yep, it keeps your brain sharp.
Yeah,
Uh,
it does.
mhm.
It's more than just the physical stuff. It keeps you right in there.
Yep.
All right, so what's on the horizon for Red Boots on the dance floor in terms of What do you see happening in the next few years, and also what events are coming up?
So my brain kind of thinks in 1 month increments. And what's coming up this month, we've got, so details are coming up about it later, but it's next weekend at the Woodstock, as a part of the Woodstock concert series, where there's some big names, there's some big things happening, big sponsorships. So all of the details for that are coming out as soon as we have like some signatures on some things. So
Perfect.
next weekend.
Where's that?
Woodstock is
Yeah.
one town south of me. So I live in Canton, Georgia,
Okay.
and Woodstock is one town south of me. So still here on the north side of Atlanta. We've got uh, so some future potential, very very potential, um, uh, to where it's on TV. For that's a whole different aspect of it. So in the future, what we've got, of course, all of my local dance nights. Like that's because that's the bread and butter of my
Right.
business. If I didn't have my local dance nights, I wouldn't be at all of these dance conventions teaching.
Gotcha.
So first and foremost is my local events. Then it's my dance conventions. So the next one that I am doing is World Dance Showdown, where I'll be an instructor, an MC, competitor. Uh, I'm one of the judges for the international choreography competition. Um, and then after that, it's like boom, 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 boom. There's a lot of them. There's National Dance Fest that I'm teaching at. There's movement in Raleigh, which it's a Cal themed um, dance convention. So it's move
Movement. Okay.
teaching
Cool.
for, we talked about Jamie Marshall earlier. I'm teaching for Jamie in Pigeon Forge in September. And then it keeps going on and on and on. I've got Forever Country coming up in November. I've got, uh, it just keeps going for conventions. Next year, I'm already getting booked out for 28.
Wow, that's so fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually talked with the owner of Forever Country,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we're
Stephen.
gonna do an interview in
Stephen
the
Lacey.
fall because they're so busy right now. But
Right.
do you have those boots, by the way? Do you have their
I
boots?
do have those boots. I'm ambassador for their boots.
Okay,
I got
and
the
so tell me how they really are. Are they good? Because I want to get some.
Yes, definitely worth your investment. So they've got like the some sort of composite rubber sole to it, so you can wear them in the dust, in the dirt. And I've not walked in the mud in them because I'm very protective over my boots, but I know I can walk in the rain in them, and they're good. They So it's a rubber bottom, but I also feel like I can turn easy, I can slide, I can do everything in my Forever Country boots.
Cool.
So
Are they comfortable?
they are comfortable. They are comfortable. So it feels like there's not a whole lot of like cushion in there. So if you need more cushion, at the ball of the foot, at the heel, size up and get inserts. But I can feel the floor really well.
Right,
Mhm.
because it doesn't have the hard shank in there. Is that right?
Right.
The
Yep. So I can flex and point my foot. I can um, I can do everything in them.
Now, one more question on that. Sorry, I had to ask these things. Do they fit, true to your normal size, or do you need to go up or down when you order?
So when I was working with Lacey on getting my boots, she's like, "What size do you wear?" I said, "I wear an 8." She's like, "Let's try the 7." The 7 did not fit, so I ended up going with the 8. And now that I've worn them and broken them in, they fit at the right looseness to where my feet can still breathe in them. Um, and to put them on, they are tighter around the ankle. But I've learned that if I wear men's dress socks, which are like paper thin, and they're slippery, so they feel like a thick pair of like pantyhose, so they're slick. I can slide my foot in and out, not a problem.
Okay, and if you're going to put the some kind of cushion in there,
Hmm.
some insert,
Hmm.
so would you go up to an 8.5 or 9, or what would you do
I would
for
probably do
you?
an 8.5. Hmm.
8.5.
Hmm.
Okay. Good to know. Now I know what to do when I order.
Yes, yes. Get the red ones.
Well, red is not really my thing, but maybe the brown or the
Right.
like cream color or something like that. I think
Okay.
they're out of black. I love black boots.
They're beautiful, and they have men's and women's boots.
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
Now, the other thing maybe you know about this, a lot of the stuff is sold out. Are they bringing more in
They're
constantly, and
doing
we can be able to get these boots?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome. All right, so a couple more questions, then we'll go. I know it's kind of it's over an hour. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You might
So
do another segment.
if you could have if you could give advice to someone who wants to be an instructor or someone who's doing Western lifestyle stuff or anything as an entrepreneur, what would that be? Um, if someone's telling them they're not good enough, what would you tell them as some advice?
If somebody's telling you that you're not good enough, like, use that as fuel, and in a way, like, prove them wrong out of spite in the best way possible. Yeah, just jump on and just see how it goes. Like, if it doesn't work the first time, that's okay. Like, how many tries did Thomas Edison have to go through to make the light bulb work?
A lot.
It's the exact same thing. We're all doing the same thing uh, as entrepreneurs, as dancers, as instructors. Like, if one style of marketing works for you, great. If another doesn't work, that's okay. It's just not the style for you. So just like trying dance classes, trying out instructors. Sometimes I'm not the right instructor for somebody. Sometimes I am. Um, and the ones that you really click with, like when I'm teaching and I see one light bulb turn on over somebody's head, I'm like, I'm teaching for you tonight.
Yeah,
So it's the same way for getting into teaching, to getting into the Western lifestyle. If you see something and you're like, yes, that's what I want to do, go for it. You're going to have a gazillion trips. You're going to have a gazillion mess ups, and that's okay. They're all learning experiences.
I agree. Perfect.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your story, your dance story, and your lifestyle story here.
Hey, thank you.
Um, I'm going to flash some things up here, and you just tell me
Okay.
if I'm correct here. So, um, we're sending people to redbootsonthedancefloor.com. That's your website.
Mhm. That's my
So,
website.
more
Yep.
information there. What can they see on your website?
They can see, it's kind of a general rundown of like who I am, what I offer. I need to work on my events tab because it's not quite working, but I'm working on that. And it points to my social media. So I post everything on social media. Yes, my website is there and it has the basic information, but where you want all of the details is going to be on social media.
And most of your social media handles are at Red Boots on the Dance Floor.
Yes, Red Boots
Okay.
on the Dance Floor. On Facebook, I've got three different things. So I've got my own profile. I've got my Red Boots on the Dance Floor page, which is more like the business page, similar to my website. And I've got my Red Boots on the Dance Floor group, which is everybody who has either been a part of my dance nights or is interested in coming to my dance nights, whether it's here or around the country, is on that group because I post everything on that group as well.
And side note on that,
Yeah.
for your personal profile, your
Mhm.
your name,
Mhm.
I noticed you have a lot more current posts on that than you do on the page. Is that just because most people come to where your name is instead of going to the other?
Yes. Yeah. So business networking side. So I post a lot on my personal profile, which is my Facebook page or my Facebook profile, because for algorithms, if you use a business page, your stuff isn't shown as much, and so that's why I focus on showing the lifestyle of being a dance instructor and of what my dance nights look like on my profile on Facebook. So, and
Okay.
it's also because my Instagram and my Facebook are connected. So once I post on Instagram, it automatically goes to my Facebook.
Ah, gotcha. Same here.
And then I'll share to my group.
Okay, awesome. All right,
Mhm.
well, thank you so much for giving me so much time today. Oh my goodness, it's been an hour and 15 minutes, but we got it all done. But I want you to come back and give us updates when you can because your
Sure.
lifestyle is just going gangbusters here, and I know you're going to have a lot to say in the future.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me
much.
on here.
All right, y'all go follow Celina Meador and Red Boots on the Dance Floor. Also
Thank
follow
you.
Wildflower Western Lifestyle and Wildflower Western Travel. See y'all soon. Bye.